Welcome. Before we begin our journey into the quiet mysteries of our world, take a moment to settle into the space around you. Adjust your pillows. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears, and feel the weight of your body sinking into the surface beneath you. You are safe. You are still. Tonight we will explore questions that have no answers, not to find solutions, but to find peace in the vastness of the unknown. Let the sound of my voice be a soft tether, guiding you through the wonders of existence as your mind begins to drift and the world outside slowly fades away. The great silence. The stars above us are numerous, yet the sky remains a canvas of profound velvet silence. Imagine you are standing in a vast open field at midnight. There is no wind, no sound of crickets, only the immense dome of the galaxy stretching over you. You look up at the billions of pinpricks of light, each one a sun, many with worlds circling them like moths around a flame. In such a crowded universe, one might expect the air to be thick with the signals of others, a cosmic hum of activity, and yet when we point our most sensitive ears to the heavens, we hear nothing but the soft, static hiss of the beginning of time. Scientists call this the Fermi paradox. It is the strange realization that, mathematically, the universe should be teeming with life, yet we find ourselves in an empty theater. Perhaps the distances are simply too vast, or perhaps civilizations are like fireflies that flicker for a moment and then go out before they can be seen. This silence is not a void, but a presence, a reminder that we are part of a mystery much larger than our daily worries. It suggests that our presence here, right now, is a rare and quiet miracle. As you think of that distant, peaceful silence, let it enter your own mind. The universe is not shouting, it is waiting. There is a deep comfort in not needing to know the answer. Just as the stars remain still in their courses, you may remain still in your rest. The silence of the cosmos is not a question to be solved, but a space to be inhabited. The Ship of Theseus. The person who fell asleep in your bed last night may not be the same person who is lying there now. Picture an ancient wooden ship resting in a quiet harbor. Over many years, the salt and the tide wear down the planks. One by one, the old boards are removed and replaced with new, sturdy timber. Eventually, every single mast, beam, and nail has been swapped for something fresh. The question remains, floating on the water, is it still the same ship, or is it something entirely new, wearing the memory of the old? Our bodies follow this same rhythmic biological dance. Every cell in your lungs, your skin, and your heart is constantly being replaced. You are a flowing river of atoms, a slow-moving wave of matter that never stays the same for long. Even the atoms in your bones are swapped out over a decade, meaning you are physically a different being than you were 10 years ago. We feel like a continuous story, yet the ink and the paper are always changing beneath the pen. In this realization, there is a profound sense of release. You do not have to carry the weight of who you were yesterday, or the mistakes of a version of you that no longer exists. Like the ship in the harbor, you are renewed in the stillness. As you drift towards sleep, your body is already beginning its quiet work of restoration. You are flowing, you are changing, and in that change, you can let go of the old timber and rest in the new, the Boltzmann Brain. In the infinite reaches of time, it is easier for a mind to imagine a world than for a world to actually exist. Imagine a dark, empty void that stretches on forever. Within this vacuum, particles dance in a state of pure randomness. According to the laws of probability, if you wait long enough, trillions upon trillions of years, those particles might accidentally collide in just the right way to form a single functioning human brain for one brief, flickering second. That brain exists in the dark, possessing all your memories, the feeling of your blankets, and the sound of my voice before dissolving back into the void. This is the unsettling thought experiment known as the Boltzmann Brain. It asks us how we can be sure that the complex world around us is real, and not just a momentary fluctuation in a lonely vacuum. It suggests that consciousness might be the most fundamental thing in the universe, more real than the solid ground or the distant stars. While it sounds like a paradox, it highlights how precious and strange our perception of reality truly is. Let this thought act as a soft weight on your eyelids. If the mind is capable of creating such vivid worlds, then your mind is capable of creating a sanctuary of perfect calm right now. The external world can wait. The physics of the stars can wait. Within the quiet theater of your own awareness, there is only the gentle rhythm of your breath and the choice to be still. You are the observer, and the observer is allowed to rest. Dark matter's shadow. We are walking through a crowded room, yet we can only see a fraction of the guests. Imagine you are floating in a deep, clear pool at night. You can see the glow of the moon on the surface, but beneath you there is a vast volume of water that remains invisible, known only by its weight and the way it holds you up. This is the state of our universe. Everything we have ever seen, the planets, the golden suns, the trees, and the people we love, makes up only 5% of what actually exists. The rest is a silent, invisible substance we call dark matter. Dark matter does not reflect light, nor does it emit it. It passes through our walls, our mountains, and our very bodies like a ghostly wind. We only know it is there because its gravity acts as a cosmic glue, holding the spinning galaxies together so they don't fly apart into the dark. We are created by an invisible architecture, supported by a presence we cannot touch or see, but which is essential for our existence. There is a strange comfort in being surrounded by the invisible. It reminds us that we don't need to perceive everything to be supported by it. Just as dark matter holds the stars in their slow rotating paths, there are unseen forces of habit, biology, and peace holding you steady right now. You are part of a vast invisible balance. Let yourself sink into that support. You are being held by the weight of the universe. The simulation argument. Perhaps the stars are not fires in the distance, but pixels in a grand, beautiful design. Picture a glass of water sitting on a table. When you look closely, you see the ripples on the surface and the light refracting through the curves. Now imagine a computer so powerful that it could calculate every atom in that glass, every photon of light, and every sensation of cold on your fingertips. If a future civilization created such a world, the beings inside it would feel the sun on their skin and the heaviness of sleep just as you do. They would never know they were part of a digital dream. Philosophers and physicists alike ponder if we are the original reality or a masterful recreation. If the universe is mathematical at its core, then code and reality may be one and the same. It suggests that the rules of our world, gravity, time, and light, are simply the settings of a very peaceful, very old program. This idea strips away the sharpness of our worries. If life is a grand simulation, then the stakes are softer and the pressure to achieve fades into the beauty of the experience itself. As you prepare for sleep, think of your own dreams as a smaller version of this mystery. Every night, your mind builds worlds out of nothing, filling them with color and emotion. Now, it is time to let the program of the day wind down. Let the screen of your mind go dark and still. Whether the world is solid or light, the peace you feel right now is real. The stillness is the only truth you need. The last star. In the very far future, there will be a final moment of warmth before the universe embraces the long, cold dark. Imagine you are sitting by a campfire that has been burning for 1,000 years. The logs have turned to glowing embers, and the circle of light is slowly shrinking, pulling closer to the center. Astronomers tell us that one day, many trillions of years from now, the universe will stop making new stars. The great blue giants will fade first, followed by the yellow suns, until only the small dim-ray dwarfs remain, the long-lived embers of the cosmos. Eventually, the very last star will flicker and go out, leaving the universe in a state of perfect, unchanging twilight. This is not a story of tragedy, but of a natural cosmic exhale. It is the ultimate expression of rest. Just as a candle eventually consumes its wax and settles into the dark, the universe itself has a destination of absolute stillness. We often fear the end of things, yet the heat death of the universe is simply the point where every bit of energy has found its place and no more work needs to be done. It is the ultimate Saturday night, where the chores of the galaxy are finally finished. Let your mind mirror this cosmic sunset. The frantic energy of your day, the thoughts that burned bright and hot, is beginning to cool. You are entering your own period of red dwarf light, where things are dim, quiet, and steady. You don't need to generate any more heat. You don't need to shine for anyone. Like the last star, you are allowed to simply exist in the fading glow, until the darkness feels like a soft, velvet blanket. Deep time. If the history of the Earth were a single day, human civilization would occupy only the last few seconds before midnight. Picture a vast mountain range, its peaks jagged and white with snow. To our eyes, the mountain is the definition of forever. But if you could speed up time, you would see the mountains rise and fall like waves on the ocean. You would see continents drifting like lily pads on a pond, and oceans opening and closing like a slow, rhythmic breath. This is deep time, a scale of existence so massive that our entire lives are but a single heartbeat in the chest of the world. There is a strange, grounding relief in our own insignificance. When we realize that the rocks beneath our beds have survived ice ages, volcanic winters, and the rise and fall of countless species, our personal anxieties begin to lose their weight. The Earth has a very long memory, and it is not worried. It has seen the sun rise billions of times, and it knows that the morning always follows the night. As you lie there, feel the ancient stability of the ground beneath you. You are resting on a traveler that has been spinning through the dark for 4.5 billion years. You are part of that endurance. Your breath is a tiny part of the atmosphere that has been recycled for eons. Let the vastness of deep time wash over you, smoothing out the wrinkles of your day. Everything is temporary, except for the peace of the present moment. The double slit. The world around us may only choose its shape when we decide to look at it. Imagine a pebble being dropped into a still pond. The ripples spread out in perfect circles, overlapping and dancing with one another. Now, imagine that if you closed your eyes, the pebble acted like a wave, spreading out everywhere at once. But the moment you opened your eyes to see where it was, it suddenly snapped back into a single solid object. In the world of quantum physics, particles like electrons behave exactly like this. They exist in a haze of possibilities until the moment they are observed. This suggests that reality is not as rigid as it seems. It is fluid, waiting for a conscious mind to give it a definite form. If the very fabric of the universe is built on this observer effect, then the way we choose to perceive our world changes the world itself. By choosing to observe your inner world as a place of calm, you are literally collapsing the possibilities of your mind into a state of rest. Let go of the need to observe the outside world for a while. As you close your eyes, let your reality return to that state of fluid waves. You don't need to fix anything into a solid shape right now. You can exist in the haze of potential, drifting between thought and dream. The world will wait to be looked at until tomorrow. For now, let the ripples expand until they disappear into the stillness of the shore. The Fermi paradox. If the universe is a garden, it is one where the flowers grow in total, hidden isolation. Imagine you're a traveler lost in a dark forest at night. You see a light in the distance and walk toward it, hoping to find a campfire and a friend. But when you arrive, the fire is burning brightly, yet there is no one there. You find another fire and another, all scattered through the woods, perfectly tended but completely solitary. This is the mystery of the Fermi paradox. Given how old and vast the galaxy is, we should have heard the radio songs of thousands of other civilizations by now. Yet the cosmic silence is absolute. Perhaps every civilization is simply listening, just as we are, waiting for someone else to speak first. Or perhaps the great filter is a quiet wall that life struggles to climb over. Rather than feeling lonely, consider the possibility that we are the universe's way of experiencing itself in private. We are the guardians of a very rare and quiet spark. The silence isn't a lack of life. It's the peace of a room where everyone is holding their breath in wonder. There is no pressure to be found tonight. You can be like a hidden planet in a far-off system, tucked away in the folds of the dark. You are unreachable, safe, and undisturbed. The universe is vast enough to hold your solitude and keep it sacred. Listen to the silence in your own room. It isn't empty. It is full of the same quiet dignity that fills the space between the stars. The microbiome mind. Within the temple of your body, there are more tiny lives than there are stars in the Milky Way. Picture a lush green rainforest, vibrant with hidden activity. From the tallest trees to the smallest moss, everything is interconnected. Your body is exactly like this. For every human cell you possess, there is at least one microscopic passenger bacterium or a tiny organism living in harmony with you. These trillions of tiny lives help you digest, protect you from harm, and even produce the chemicals that make you feel happy or calm. You are not just a single person. You are a vast, peaceful ecosystem. Scientists are discovering that the gut-brain axis means our microscopic friends actually whisper to our nervous system. When your ecosystem is at rest, your mind feels at rest. You are a walking planet, providing a home for a civilization of life that depends entirely on your well-being. When you breathe deeply, you are oxygenating a world. When you relax your muscles, you are bringing peace to a whole hidden landscape. Take pride in being a good host to yourself. Your body knows how to take care of you, just as it takes care of the trillions of lives within it. You don't have to manage the forest. The forest knows how to grow, just as the earth turns without your effort. Your internal world is maintaining itself while you sleep. Trust in the wisdom of your biology. You are a masterpiece of cooperation. Let the many parts of you settle into a single unified stillness, the heat death. There is a final state of balance waiting at the end of all things, where every motion finds its rest. Imagine a room filled with the scent of a single beautiful candle. When the candle is first lit, the heat and the fragrance are concentrated in one bright spot, but as the hours pass, the warmth spreads. It touches the corners of the ceiling, the fabric of the curtains, and the surface of the floor until the entire room is exactly the same temperature. There is no more flickering, no more dancing shadows, just a perfect, even distribution of peace. This is what physicists call entropy, leading toward the eventual heat death of the universe. While the name sounds cold, the reality is the ultimate expression of equilibrium. It is the moment when the universe finally finishes its work. There are no more stars to burn, no more black holes to pull, and no more galaxies to spin. Everything reaches a state of absolute quiet uniformity. It is the cosmic equivalent of a long, deep exhale after a trillion-year day. It is the universe finally closing its eyes and finding a temperature that never needs to change again. You can feel this law of entropy working in your own favor tonight. Your thoughts, which were concentrated and hot during the day, are now beginning to spread out and cool. The tension in your muscles is dissolving into the bed, seeking that same perfect balance with the world around you. You don't need to do anything to achieve this. The universe wants you to rest. It is pulling you toward a state of total, even calm. Let yourself fade into the room. The multiverse fold, somewhere, in a fold of reality we cannot see. There is a version of you who has already found the peace you seek. Picture a giant book with an infinite number of pages. On each page, a slightly different version of your life is being written. On one page, you turned left instead of right. On another, you spoke when you should have stayed silent. In the theory of the many worlds interpretation, every choice and every quantum event splits the universe into new branches. This means that for every moment of restlessness you feel, there is a parallel version of you that is already deep in a dreamless, perfect sleep. This thought allows us to borrow calm from the infinite. If every possibility exists, then peace is not something you have to manufacture. It is something that already exists in the fabric of the you that spans the multiverse. You are simply the traveler moving toward that page of the book. You could imagine your consciousness gently sliding over the edges of these realities, moving away from the loud ones and drifting toward the versions of tonight that are coated in silver moonlight and total silence. As you lie still, imagine these different versions of yourself merging back into one. The many paths of your day are narrowing down to this single quiet point. You are the center of an infinite web of possibilities. And right now, the only possibility that matters is this one. The book is closing. The story is pausing. You are exactly where you need to be. The speed of light. Light is the only thing in the universe that never knows the passage of time. Imagine you are a photon, a tiny particle of light departing from a star, a billion light years away. To an observer on Earth, your journey took eons. You traveled through the void, past spinning nebulae and dying suns. But to you, because you travel at the universal speed limit, time does not exist. The moment you left the star and the moment you struck the lens of a telescope are the exact same instant. For light, the universe is not a vast distance, but a single, eternal now. The speed of light acts as a cosmic boundary, protecting us from the overwhelming scale of the universe. It ensures that everything happens in its own time and in its own space. It tells us that there is a limit to how fast information can travel, a limit to how much we can know, and a limit to how much we can feel at once. It is the universe's way of saying, slow down. There is no need to rush. Even the light has a limit. Let your mind adopt the perspective of a photon. Let go of the before and the after. In this moment, there is no past to regret and no future to plan. There is only the light that has reached you and the stillness of the room. When you stop moving, time loses its grip on you. You can exist in your own eternal now, where the only task is to breathe and let the darkness be your companion. Quantum entanglement. Nothing in this universe is ever truly alone, for every particle carries the memory of another. Imagine two tiny bells cast from the same molten metal. If you take one bell to the top of a mountain and leave the other in a deep valley, they remain connected by their origin. In the world of quantum physics, when two particles become entangled, they share a single existence. If you spin one to the right, the other, no matter if it is across the room or across the galaxy, instantly spins to the left. They communicate without words, without wires, and across any distance, faster than light itself. This spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it, suggests that the separation we see between objects is an illusion. We are all made of particles that were once crushed together in the heart of a single point before the Big Bang. We are physically entangled with the stars, the air, and the very ground we rest upon. You are connected to the stillness of the deep woods and the calm of the furthest moon. You were never isolated. You are part of a vast, invisible network of belonging. Let this connection soothe you. You don't have to hold yourself together by effort alone. You are supported by the entanglement of everything that ever was. As you relax, feel the tension leaving your body and imagine it being absorbed by the earth, which is large enough to hold it for you. You are in resonance with the quiet parts of the world, just like those two bells. When the world grows quiet, you grow quiet too. The voyager's journey. There is a small human-made object floating in the absolute dark, carrying our sounds into the eternal. Picture the Voyager space probe, a lonely messenger made of metal and glass, gliding through the interstellar void. It has left our solar system behind. Behind it, the sun is just another bright star. Ahead of it, there is nothing but light years of peaceful, empty space. On its side, it carries a golden record, a message from us to the universe, filled with the sounds of rain, the song of a mother to her child, and the heartbeat of a person in love. Voyager is moving at thousands of miles per hour. Yet because there is nothing nearby to pass, it feels as though it is standing perfectly still. It is the ultimate traveler, unburdened by gravity, unbothered by time. It does not need to arrive anywhere. Its only purpose is to carry our essence into the quiet. It is a piece of home that has found its way into the great rest. Imagine your consciousness is like that golden record, drifting away from the noise of the world. You are carrying only the best parts of your day, the softest memories, the gentlest thoughts into the dark. Like Voyager, you are safe in the vacuum. There are no storms here, no demands, and no gravity to pull you down. You are simply gliding. The dark is not empty. It is a cradle. Let yourself drift further and further out, away from the sun, into the beautiful velvet nowhere. Genetic memory. Deep within the spiral of your DNA, there are echoes of every storm your ancestors survived, and every sunset they watched in peace. Imagine a vast, ancient library where the books are not made of paper, but of light and chemistry. Each shelf holds the stories of thousands of lives that came before you people, who knew how to find fire in the winter and shade in the heat. Scientists have found that the experiences of our predecessors can leave soft imprints on our genes, a phenomenon called epigenetics. This means that within you, right now, is the biological wisdom of 1,000 generations who knew exactly how to close their eyes and let the world go at the end of a long day. You are the descendant of survivors, but more importantly, you are the descendant of sleepers. Every one of your ancestors had to master the art of rest to wake up with the strength to continue. That ability is not something you need to learn. It is something you inherit. It is a quiet, rhythmic pulse in your blood, a natural instinct to seek the safety of the dark and the stillness of the den. As you lie here, let that ancient wisdom take the lead. Your body knows how to do this. It has been doing it for millions of years. You are simply returning to a state that your lineage has perfected over eons. Feel the weight of that history supporting you. You are part of a long, unbroken chain of rest. Let the library of your mind grow dim as you trust the internal compass that guides all living things back to the silence. The event horizon. There is a place in the universe where time stretches out so thinly that a single moment can last forever. Picture a black hole, a dark jewel hanging in the center of a galaxy. Around it is a boundary called the event horizon. If you were to watch someone drift toward that edge, you would see their movements grow slower and slower and slower and slower. To your eyes, they would never actually fall in. They would simply fade into a frozen, golden, statuesque stillness, suspended in time while the rest of the universe rushed by. It is a place where the frantic pace of existence finally reaches a full stop. In our daily lives, we are often pulled by the gravity of our schedules, our phones, and our thoughts. But tonight, imagine you are approaching your own personal event horizon. As you move closer to sleep, the minutes begin to lose their sharpness. The ticking of the clock becomes a soft, meaningless rhythm. You are entering a zone where time cannot follow you. Here there is no late, there is no soon, there is only the infinite stretch of now. Let yourself be captured by this gentle gravity. It is not a fall, but a slow motion descent into a state of grace. The outside world may continue its rapid spin, but you are becoming still. You are fading into the velvet dark where time is a luxury you have in abundance. Let the edges of your awareness soften and blur. You are crossing the threshold into the timeless, the Goldilocks zone. You are resting in the universe that was measured and weighed just for the sake of your breath. Imagine a vast cosmic dial with billions of settings. If the force of gravity were just a fraction stronger, the universe would have collapsed back into itself long ago. If it were a fraction weaker, the stars would never have formed. But instead, the settings are just right. We live in the Goldilocks zone, not just as a planet at the right distance from a sun, but as a reality with the exact laws of physics required for life to wake up. Look around and eventually fall back into a peaceful sleep. This precision suggests that you are not an accident. You are a deliberate expression of a very balanced system. The same laws that keep the moon in its orbit are the laws that keep your heart beating in its steady, slow rhythm. You are perfectly calibrated for this moment. There is a profound safety in knowing that the entire structure of reality is designed to support your existence. As you settle deeper into your pillows, feel that cosmic balance. You don't need to hold the world together. It is already holding you. The temperature of the room, the weight of the air, the rhythm of your breath, everything is in its Goldilocks state. You have found the place where everything is just right. Let go of the need to adjust or change. You are exactly where you belong, in the quiet center of a perfect design, the uncanny valley. The mind seeks comfort in the familiar, and there is a deep peace in returning to the simplicity of being. Imagine walking through a gallery of statues. Some are made of cold stone, clearly not alive. Others are so lifelike they almost breathe, creating a strange, flickering tension in the mind called the uncanny valley. We are naturally drawn to what is authentic and repelled by what is strained or forced. In our waking lives, we often wear masks, social roles, professional faces that feel like those strained statues. We work so hard to appear a certain way that we forget how to simply be. Sleep is the moment where we leave the uncanny valley behind. It is the moment you drop the mask and return to your most authentic, simple self. In the dark, you don't have to look like anything. You don't have to perform. You are no longer a person with a name and a job. You are a living, breathing part of the natural world, as honest as a tree or a stone. Feel the relief of dropping the performance. Let your facial muscles soften your jaw, your brow, the corners of your eyes. You are returning to the beautiful simplicity of your own nature. There is no tension here, only the raw, quiet truth of your existence. You are real, you are safe, and you are finally home in your own skin. The gallery is closed, the lights are off. You are just you, the neutrino rain. Every second, billions of tiny, silent messengers from the sun pass through you without leaving a single trace. Picture a gentle summer rain, but one that is invisible and weightless. These are neutrinos, ghost particles created in the hearts of stars. They travel at nearly the speed of light, passing through the vast emptiness of space, through the solid rock of the earth, and through your body, as if you were made of nothing but moonlight. They are the most common matter in the universe, yet they never push, they never pull, and they never disturb the peace of the atoms they encounter. Think of these neutrinos as a metaphor for the thoughts and worries of the day. We often feel like our thoughts are solid objects that can hit us or weigh us down. But what if they were like neutrinos? What if they could pass through your mind without leaving a mark? You can observe a worry as it passes, noticing its light, and then let it continue on its journey through the infinite, leaving you untouched and still. As you breathe in, imagine your mind becoming like clear, open space. The rain of the world continues, but you are so vast and so calm that it simply passes through. You are not a barrier. You are a witness. Nothing can cling to you unless you try to catch it. Let your hands stay open. Let your mind stay open. You are a ghost to your worries, and they are ghosts to you. There is only the quiet, steady flow of the universe, and the stillness that remains, the great attractor. Somewhere in the deep velvet of space, everything we know is being pulled toward a hidden center. Imagine a vast dark ocean where every ship, every island, and every drop of water is being drawn by a silent underwater current. In a distant corner of the cosmos, there is a gravitational anomaly so massive that it pulls entire galaxies, including our own Milky Way, toward it at millions of miles per hour. We call it the Great Attractor. We cannot see it clearly, as it hides behind the zone of avoidance, obscured by the dust of our own galaxy. But we feel its persistent, gentle tug. This pull is not violent. It is the natural inclination of the universe to seek a center. It is a cosmic homing instinct. Just as the great attractor guides the stars through the dark, your body has its own great attractor, the state of sleep. All day long you have been drifting, but now the current has grown stronger. You are being pulled toward a point of perfect rest, a center where all movement eventually stops. Allow yourself to be carried by this current. You don't need to steer the ship or row against the tide. The gravity of your own fatigue is a kind and steady force. It knows the way even when you are too tired to look. Let the zone of avoidance hide the worries of the world. Simply feel the pull. You are moving toward the center of your own peace, and the destination is closer with every breath. The language of trees. Beneath the forest floor, a slow and silent conversation is happening in the dark. Picture a dense forest in the height of summer. Above, the leaves rustle in the wind, but below, in the cool, damp earth, there is a network of roots and fungi known as the wood wide web. Trees do not live as individuals. They are a community. They share nutrients with the weak, send warning signals through chemical whispers, and remember the droughts of decades past. Their sense of time is not measured in seconds, but in seasons. They are masters of the long, slow wait. When you lie still, imagine your own nervous system as a network of roots reaching down into the mattress. You are plugging into the quiet stability of the earth. Like a tree in winter, you are pulling your energy inward, away from the branches and down into the core. You don't need to produce anything right now. You don't need to grow. You only need to endure in the stillness, connected to the silent support system that surrounds you. There is a wisdom in the wood. It knows that to reach the sun tomorrow, it must rest in the dark tonight. Let your thoughts become like the slow movement of sap, thick, heavy, and calm. You are part of the landscape now. You are rooted. You are safe. The conversation of the day is over, and the silent language of the earth is taking over. The primordial soup. Life began not with a roar, but with a quiet, persistent chemical dream in the warm dark of the sea. Imagine the earth billions of years ago. There were no birds, no trees, no voices. There was only the vast rhythmic pulse of the tides and the heat of volcanic vents at the bottom of the ocean. In these small, protected pockets of water, molecules began to dance. They weren't alive yet, but they were learning how to hold together. They were a primordial soup, a collection of potential waiting for the right moment to wake up. We often think of life as a struggle, but at its very beginning, life was just a beautiful accident of chemistry and calm. It was the result of things sitting still long enough to find an order. Your own body carries the salt of that ancient ocean in its blood. When you rest, you are returning to that original state of potential. You are allowing your chemistry to settle, to repair, and to find its own natural order without your interference. Feel the warmth of your own inner ocean. Your breath is like the tide, coming in and going out, just as it has for 4 billion years. You don't need to force the life within you to function. It knows the rhythm. You are simply the vessel for this ancient, successful dream. Sink into the warmth. Let the molecules of your mind find their own quiet arrangement. You are returning to the beginning. The false vacuum. The universe may be resting in a state of temporary stability, waiting for a final, perfect peace. Imagine a mountain climber who has found a small, flat ledge to rest on during a storm. The ledge is safe, but it isn't the bottom of the mountain. In physics, there is a theory that our universe is in a false vacuum. It means we are in a state of stability that feels permanent, but there might be a lower, even more peaceful energy state beneath us. A true vacuum would be a place where the laws of physics are perfectly balanced, a state of absolute cosmic grace. This can be a metaphor for our own levels of relaxation. During the day, we find false moments of rest, a quick seat, a deep breath, but they are just ledges on the mountain. Sleep is the descent into the true vacuum. It is the lower energy state where the tension of being a self finally dissolves. It is the most stable version of you. As you drift, feel yourself stepping off the ledge of the day. You aren't falling into danger. You are descending into a more fundamental state of being. You are moving toward a level of peace that is more true than your waking life. Let the laws of your world change. Let the weight of your identity drop away. You are finding the lowest, calmest point of the valley, where the wind doesn't blow and the stars never flicker. The memory of water. Every drop of water you drink has traveled through the hearts of dinosaurs and the clouds of ancient empires. Picture a single raindrop clinging to a leaf. That drop is a tiny time traveler. It has been frozen in glaciers for millennia, flowed through the great rivers of forgotten civilizations, and been exhaled by forests that no longer exist. Water is the great recycler of the earth, carrying the memory of the planet's history in its very bonds. It doesn't change, it only transforms. Your body is mostly water. You are a collection of ancient wandering drops that have found a temporary home in you. When you feel restless, imagine the water within you seeking the stillness of a deep mountain lake. Water doesn't worry about where it's going. It simply follows the path of least resistance. It knows how to be ice, it knows how to be steam, and it knows how to be perfectly, glassily still. Let your mind become like a pool of water at midnight. The ripples of the day's events are spreading out, hitting the shore and disappearing. The surface is becoming smooth. You can see the stars reflected in you, but they don't disturb you. You are deep, you are ancient, and you are clear. Like the water that has seen everything and remained itself, You are returning to your natural, quiet flow. The arrow of time. Time is a one-way river, flowing from the chaos of the morning toward the perfect order of the night. Imagine a deck of cards held in your hand. When the cards are new, they are in perfect sequence, but as they are shuffled, they move toward randomness. In physics, the arrow of time is defined by entropy, the transition from order to disorder. But there is a beautiful paradox here. While the universe moves toward chaos, our bodies move toward a very specific kind of order when we sleep. We organize our memories, we repair our tissues, and we smooth out the frayed edges of our thoughts. Time feels like a pressure during the day because we are trying to swim against the current, trying to get things done before the sun sets. But at night, the arrow of time becomes your friend. It is the force that carries you away from the noise and toward the inevitable silence. You don't have to fight the river anymore. You can pull your oars into the boat and simply let the current take you. As you lie there, feel time stretching out. The now is becoming longer and softer. You are moving in the only direction that matters toward the stillness. The past is a shore you have already left behind, and the future is a distant mist. There is only the gentle, one-way flow of the night, carrying you into the deep, quiet ocean of sleep. The infinite monkey theorem. If you give randomness enough time, it eventually creates something of perfect and absolute beauty. Picture a single typewriter in a quiet room and a monkey hitting the keys at random. If that monkey plays for 1 trillion years, the laws of probability say that eventually, purely by accident, it will type out a perfect sonnet, a grand history, or the most beautiful poem ever written. This is a reminder that within the noise of the universe, meaning is always waiting to emerge. Your own life is a collection of 1 billion random events that have converged to create the miracle of you lying in this bed right now. During the day, our minds feel like those random keys clattering, disorganized and loud. We worry about the noise in our heads. But when we settle into sleep, we allow those random thoughts to stop competing. We stop trying to type anything at all. In the silence, the randomness settles and a different kind of meaning emerges, the meaning of pure, unburdened existence. Let the typing in your mind fade away. You don't need to make sense of the day. You don't need to produce a masterpiece. The masterpiece is the fact that you are here, breathing and safe. The randomness is over. The poem is finished. Let the typewriter grow silent and the room grow dark. The Oort cloud. At the very edge of our home, there is a silent shell of ice and dust, guarding the warmth of our world. Imagine traveling far past the bright planets and the asteroid belt, out into the deep, cold reaches of the solar system. There, you find the Oort cloud, a vast, spherical bubble made of trillions of icy fragments. It is the outer limit of the sun's reach. It is a place of profound, frozen peace where objects move so slowly they seem to be held in a dream. This cloud acts as a gentle boundary between our sun and the rest of the galaxy. We all have an Oort cloud of the mind. It is the boundary where the light of our conscious worries begins to fade into the cool, dark space of the subconscious. Right now, you are moving through that boundary. You are leaving the inner planets of your responsibilities and drifting out toward the quiet, icy periphery. It is not a cold place, but a protective one. It is the buffer that keeps the rest of the universe at a distance. Feel the space around you expanding. The walls of your room are like that protective shell holding the world away. Inside this bubble, everything is slow, everything is quiet. You are a long way from the sun, and the light is just a soft, distant memory. You are safe in the outer reaches of your own mind. The wow signal. Sometimes the universe sends a single, unexplained moment of wonder, only to return to a beautiful silence. In 1977, a radio telescope picked up a powerful, rhythmic signal from deep space that lasted for exactly 72 seconds. It was so perfectly formed that the astronomer who saw it wrote the word "wow" in the margin of the printout. We never heard it again. For decades, we have listened to that same patch of sky, but all we find is a deep, velvety quiet. The signal was a mystery, a brief flash of something in a sea of nothing. Our thoughts can be like that signal. A sudden worry or a bright idea might flash across your mind, demanding your attention. But just like the wow signal, those thoughts don't have to define the silence that follows. They are brief events in a much larger, calmer field. You can acknowledge the wow of a thought and then let the next 72 seconds and the 72 years after that return to the peace of the background. Listen to the background of your own awareness. Beneath the flickering signals of your thoughts, there is a vast, quiet frequency that never changes. It is the steady hum of your own existence. It is much older and much more stable than any single signal. Let the flashes fade. Return to the long, beautiful silence of the telescope. The universe has nothing more to say tonight. Neuroplasticity. As you rest, your brain is like a gardener, quietly pruning the paths of the day to make room for the flowers of tomorrow. Picture a forest with hundreds of small, dirt paths. During the day, you walk these paths repeatedly thinking, reacting, and doing. Some paths get worn deep, while others grow overgrown. This is your brain's neuroplasticity. But the real work happens in the dark. While you sleep, your brain acts as a silent gardener. It clears away the debris of useless information and strengthens the connections that actually matter. It is a literal physical restructuring of your mind. You don't have to help with the gardening. In fact, the gardener can only work when you are completely still. Your only job is to provide the soil of relaxation. Every deep breath you take provides the oxygen the gardener needs. Every time you let a muscle go limp, you are clearing a branch out of the way. You are being rebuilt, right now, into a calmer version of yourself. Feel the soft internal movement of this process. It is a downward sensation, a lowering of the heart rate, a settling of the nerves. Your mind is making itself more efficient, more peaceful, and more prepared. By doing nothing, you are doing everything. Let the gardener work. Let the paths grow quiet. Tomorrow will be a fresh landscape, but tonight, the forest is simply resting. The big rip. There is a theory that space itself is like a fine silk, capable of stretching until it loses all tension. Imagine a soft elastic fabric. If you pull it gently, it expands. Astronomers have observed that the universe is not just expanding, but doing so faster and faster every second in one possible end, known as the Big Rip. The fabric of space becomes so stretched and thin that even the strongest forces give way. Atoms drift apart, galaxies dissolve into a mist of light, and finally, the fabric itself reaches a state of absolute, effortless release. It is the ultimate letting go of all structure. You can feel a small, gentle version of this rip in your own body right now. The tension you've been holding in your muscles, the fabric of your daily stress is beginning to stretch and thin. You are losing the urge to hold things together. Your limbs feel heavy, as if the space between your cells is growing, allowing you to occupy the bed with a soft, expansive weight. You are not falling apart. You are simply losing your tension. As you breathe, imagine the boundaries of your body softening. Like the universe at its end, you are becoming less solid and more like a quiet, evening mist. There is no need to be wound up or held tight. Let the space in the room hold you. You are expanding into the stillness, becoming one with the dark, silent air. The gravity well. We are all resting at the bottom of a gentle curve in the universe, held close by the Earth's embrace. Picture a heavy velvet blanket spread across a soft mattress. If you place a small marble on it, the fabric dips, creating a warm, shallow cradle. This is how gravity works. The Earth is so massive that it curves the space around it, creating a well that keeps us from drifting away into the cold dark. Gravity is not a force that pulls us down. It is the geometry of the universe providing us with a place to lean. Tonight, feel the depth of your own gravity well. The bed beneath you is the center of your world. The Earth is reaching up through the floor, through the frame, and through the mattress to hold you steady. You are being hugged by the very shape of the cosmos. It is a constant, unwavering presence that never asks for anything in return. It is the most reliable support you will ever have. Let your weight sink into that curve. You don't need to hold yourself up. You don't need to resist. The earth is large enough and strong enough to carry all of you, your body, your thoughts, and your history. Close your eyes and feel the downward tilt of the night. You are settling into the deepest, safest part of the well. The biological clock. Every cell in your body is a tiny, ancient timepiece, synchronized with the rotation of the world. Imagine a grand hall filled with 1,000 pendulum clocks. At first, they all tick at different times, a chaotic chorus of sound. But over time, through a phenomenon called entrainment, they begin to swing together. Your body is a masterpiece of this internal rhythm. Within your brain, a tiny cluster of neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus acts as the master conductor, keeping track of the blue light of morning and the amber light of dusk. Even in the dark, your cells know the time. They are preparing for the night shift, the time for cleaning, for cooling, and for dreaming. You are part of a biological symphony that has been playing for millions of years. This rhythm is deeper than your to-do list. It is written into your chemical makeup. When you close your eyes, you are stepping into a stream that has been flowing since the first sunrise. Trust the timing of your body. You don't have to try to sleep. You only have to stop trying to stay awake. The conductor has already lowered the baton. The music is slowing down. Your heart is finding its evening tempo. Let the internal clocks swing in their slow, heavy arcs. The day is over, and the rhythm of the night has begun. The expansion of space. The universe is growing larger every second, creating more room for silence between the stars. Imagine you are standing on a giant balloon that is slowly being inflated. As the surface expands, the people standing far away from you begin to move further and further into the distance. They aren't walking away. The ground itself is simply growing. This is the reality of our universe. Every moment, thousands of miles of brand new, empty space are created between the galaxies. The universe is literally making more nothingness to hold the somethingness. This expansion is the ultimate gift of peace. It means there is always more room. If your mind feels crowded tonight, imagine the expansion of space occurring between your thoughts. Imagine a vast, cool distance opening up between one worry and the next. There is so much room now that those thoughts can no longer see or hear each other. They are drifting apart, becoming small, distant points of light in an ever-growing sea of quiet. Let the nothingness fill you. It is a clean, dark, and restful space. You are not losing anything, you are simply gaining distance from the noise. The universe is providing you with all the room you need to be alone, to be still, and to be free. The world is getting bigger, and you are getting quieter. The philosophy of color. In the dark, the colors of the world do not disappear. They simply go to sleep with you. Picture a vibrant garden filled with red roses, blue delphiniums, and yellow sunflowers. In the bright light of noon, these colors scream for your attention. But as the sun sets, a strange thing happens. The red fades first, turning into a deep, velvety gray. Then the blues soften, and finally, everything becomes a shadow. This is because color isn't a property of the object. It is a conversation between light and your eyes. When the light leaves, the conversation ends. This is a reminder that the vividness of your problems is often just a matter of how much light you are shining on them. In the dark of the night, those problems lose their color. They lose their sharpness. They become simple shapes, then shadows, and then finally, they blend into the background. You don't have to solve a problem if you can no longer see its edges. Let the colors of your day fade away. Let the reds of your anger and the yellows of your busyness turn into the soft, neutral tones of the evening. You are entering a world of monochrome peace. In the dark, everything is the same. Everything is quiet. Everything is at rest. The garden is still there, but for now, it is just a beautiful, dark secret. The ocean floor. At the bottom of the world's oceans, there is a kingdom of absolute stillness where the storms of the surface never arrive. Imagine you are slow-moving currents sinking deeper and deeper into the blue. Above, The sun glitters on the waves, and the wind whips the spray. But as you descend, the light turns to a soft indigo, then a deep violet, and finally a warm, protective black. Down here, at the floor of the abyss, the water is heavy and still. It presses against the sand with a weight that feels like a constant, unmoving hug. There are no seasons here, no clocks, and no noise. Our minds often live on the surface, tossed about by the white caps of daily news and the gusts of conversation. But beneath that surface, you have your own inner abyss, a place of high pressure and low sound. When you close your eyes, you are beginning your descent. The worries of the day are like ships passing miles above. You can sense their shadows, but they cannot touch the silence where you reside. Feel the pressure of your bed as the heavy, comforting water of the deep. It is holding you in place, preventing you from drifting. You are safe in the dark. The Penarith Booth. Let the world churn and roar far above you. Down here, on the ocean floor of your consciousness, there is only the slow, rhythmic pulse of the earth, the tectonic field. There is a theoretical world where time moves backward, and every end is actually a beginning. Picture a mirror held up to the universe. On our side, we push a glass off a table and it breaks. We feel a spark and then a flame. But in the world of the tachyonic field, particles are hypothesized to move faster than light, meaning they experience the effect before the cause. In that realm, the broken glass gathers itself from the floor and leaps back onto the table, whole and gleaming. Every exhaustion is simply the precursor to an inevitable surging energy. This thought allows us to see our fatigue differently. Perhaps your tiredness isn't a draining of your battery, but a gathering of your strength. You are currently in the process of reversing the day. Every heavy breath is a way of pulling back the scattered pieces of your attention. You are unbreaking the glass. You are returning to a state of wholeness that existed before the day began. As you drift, don't worry about how much you gave away today. In the quiet of the night, the field of your life is resetting itself. The end of your day is simply the starting point for your recovery. You are moving backward away from the noise and toward the source. Let the pieces of yourself fall back into place. You are becoming whole again in the dark. The Gaia hypothesis. The planet is not a rock we live upon, but a single massive organism that is breathing along with you. Imagine you are a single cell in a vast planetary body. This is the Gaia hypothesis. The idea that the Earth's atmosphere, oceans, and soil work together in a self-regulating system to maintain the conditions for life. The forests are the lungs, the rivers are the veins, and the tides are the heartbeat. When the sun sets over your house, it is also setting for millions of other creatures, all of whom are settling into the same planetary rhythm of rest. You are never breathing alone. As you inhale, a forest 1,000 miles away is exhaling. As your heart slows down for sleep, the earth itself is cooling in the shadow of the night. You are a part of a global winding down. You don't have to carry the responsibility of your life by yourself, because you are a cell in a body that knows exactly how to heal. Feel the connection between your breath and the wind outside. There is no separation. You are tucked into a corner of a living world that is currently tilting away from the sun to give you the darkness you need. Trust the planet to do its job. It will keep spinning, it will keep breathing, and it will keep you safe. You are part of the big sleep, the entropy of a room. Everything in the universe wants to reach its simplest state, and right now, that state is your stillness. Imagine a room that hasn't been touched for 100 years. The dust has settled in a perfect, thin layer over the books. The air is cool and unmoving. The molecules in the wood and the fabric have stopped vibrating with the heat of use. This is the ultimate goal of entropy, to reach a state where energy is spread out so perfectly that nothing needs to move anymore. In physics, work is what happens when energy is uneven. Peace is what happens when it is balanced. During the day, you are a heat engine. You are moving, thinking, and creating imbalances. But now, you are allowing your entropy to climb. You are spreading your energy out into the mattress, into the air, and into the silence. You are moving toward that untouched room. You are becoming a space where the dust of thought can finally settle. Let yourself become simple. You don't need to be a complex machine with 1,000 moving parts tonight. You can be a stone, a piece of fabric, or a quiet room. The less you do, the more you align with the natural direction of the universe. The universe loves equilibrium. It loves rest. Let the entropy of the night take over. The cosmic microwave background. There is a faint, warm glow left over from the birth of the universe, and it is hummed into the space around you even now. Picture a large, empty cathedral after a choir has finished singing. The voices are gone, but the air still vibrates with a ghostly golden echo. This is the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. It is the oldest light in existence, stretched out into long, invisible waves that fill every inch of the sky. No matter where you go, you are bathed in this 13-billion-year-old warmth. It is the universe's original lullaby. If you could see these waves, the night wouldn't look black. It would look like a soft, glowing fog of ancient history. This light has traveled across the entire span of time just to reach the room where you are lying. It is a reminder that the beginning of everything was a moment of immense light, and we are still floating in its ripples. Let this background hum soothe your mind. Your life is a tiny melody, played over a very grand, very old bass note. The bass note is steady. It is eternal. It doesn't change when you make a mistake or when you feel anxious. It is the sound of existence itself. Listen to the quiet in your ears that is the echo of the beginning. It says that you are here. You have always been part of this, and you are allowed to be at peace. The P-zombie. There is a mystery in the difference between a machine that calculates and a soul that feels. Imagine a person who looks exactly like you, speaks like you, and moves like you. To the outside world, they are indistinguishable from a human being. But inside, there is no light on. There is no experience of the scent of rain, no feeling of the softness of the blanket, and no sense of being behind the eyes. Philosophers call this the P-zombie. It is a thought experiment that asks why we have an inner life at all. Why the universe didn't just stay a collection of cold, unfeeling reactions. The fact that you can feel the heaviness of your limbs and the quiet of the room is the greatest mystery in science. It means you are more than a biological computer. You are a witness. Tonight, you don't have to do anything with your consciousness. You don't have to solve, plan, or analyze. You can simply enjoy the fact that the light is on, but dimmed to a soft, flickering candle glow. As you drift, let go of the need to be a thinking being. Transition into a feeling being. Feel the texture of the air, the weight of your breath, and the slow, warm pulse of your heart. You are a conscious spark in a vast, dark ocean. The mystery of your existence is beautiful, and it is safe. The light is ready to fade into the deep, restorative dark. The antimatter mirror. For every piece of the world we see, there is a hidden, perfect opposite waiting in the shadows of physics. Picture a vast silver mirror. On our side, we have matter, the atoms that make up your bed, your breath, and your skin. But the laws of the universe suggest that there is an equal and opposite version called antimatter. It is identical in every way, yet its charge is reversed. It is the shadow of existence. Scientists have found that when matter and antimatter meet, they transform into pure radiant light, returning their energy back to the source. Perhaps sleep is the antimatter to your day. The day is full of solid actions, loud words, and bright lights. Sleep is the mirror image, silent, still, and dark. When the matter of your daily tasks meets the antimatter of the night, they don't fight. They cancel each other out, leaving only a state of pure, weightless potential. You are being annihilated in the kindest way possible, turning your heavy worries into light. Let the mirror self take over. Let the reverse of your day begin. For every step you took today, now there is a moment of stillness. For every word you spoke, there is a breath of silence. The balance is being restored. You are moving into the mirror where everything is equal, opposite, and perfectly at rest. The Goldbach conjecture. Deep within the world of numbers, there is a hidden order that has remained unbroken for centuries. Imagine a long, straight road that stretches toward the horizon. This road is paved with the prime numbers, those solitary, stubborn digits like 3, 5, 7, and 11 that cannot be broken down. In 1742, a mathematician named Goldbach noticed a strange pattern. Every even number is simply the sum of two primes. It is a rule that seems to hold true for every number we've ever tested, all the way to infinity. Yet no one can prove why it works. It is a secret law of the universe that exists without our permission. Our lives often feel like a series of random even numbers, messy and complicated, but beneath the surface there are prime truths holding everything together. There is a hidden mathematics to your calm. Your breath has a ratio. Your heart has a tempo. Your sleep cycles have a geometric precision. You don't need to understand the proof of your life to benefit from its order. Trust the invisible structure of the night. Just as the numbers follow their ancient silent rules, your body is following a mathematical path to recovery. You are being counted. You are being organized. You are part of a grand, unbroken pattern that is moving toward a sum of zero, the perfect, empty, and beautiful zero of deep sleep. The sleep state. Every night, you perform a feat of biological magic, crossing a bridge into a world where the laws of physics no longer apply. Imagine a bridge made of mist, stretching over a canyon of stars. On one side is the waking world, a place of gravity, linear time, and solid walls. On the other side is the dream world. When you fall asleep, your brain paralyzes your body to keep you safe, while your mind begins to fly. In that realm, you can walk through doors that aren't there and speak to people who are far away. You become a traveler of the fourth dimension, where the now can be 1,000 years long. This state is a necessary mystery. We do not go there just to rest our muscles. We go there to untangle our souls. Sleep is the time when the files of the day are sorted, the ink of our memories is dried, and the static of our emotions is cleared away. It is a sacred journey you take alone, and you have been doing it successfully every night of your life. As you step onto the bridge tonight, feel the freedom of it. You are leaving the heavy world behind. The rules of should and must do not cross this bridge. You are becoming light. You are becoming fluid. Trust the mist to hold you. The other side is waiting, and it is a place of total, imaginative peace. The phosphorus problem. The ingredients for your dreams were forged in the hearts of stars that died billions of years before the Earth was born. Picture a massive star, pulsing with light in the ancient dark. Inside its core, elements are being crushed together: carbon, oxygen, and phosphorus. When that star finally reaches its end, it explodes, scattering these seeds across the vacuum. Scientists have noticed that phosphorus, a key ingredient for the energy in our cells and the structure of our DNA, is surprisingly rare in the universe. We are made of a very specific, very precious stardust that had to travel a very long way to become you. This means that you are a literal piece of the cosmos that has come home to rest. The phosphorus in your brain, which is currently firing the tiny signals of your thoughts, is billions of years old. It has seen the birth of galaxies and the cooling of planets. It is not tired in the way we think. It is simply returning to a state of quiet after a very long journey. As you breathe, acknowledge the antiquity of your own body. You are a cosmic antique. You are made of rare and beautiful things. Let the stardust in your bones settle. The universe worked very hard for billions of years to create a place where you could lie down and be still. Honor that effort by letting go. You are a star that is finally allowed to be dim. The butterfly effect. A single, soft breath in the dark can ripple outward, changing the weather of 1,000 years to come. Imagine a vast golden field of tall grass. A tiny butterfly rests on a blade, and as it takes flight, the microscopic displacement of air shifts a breeze. That breeze nudges a cloud, which eventually turns a storm away from a city weeks later. This is the butterfly effect, the scientific truth that in a complex system, the smallest input can have the most profound consequences. It reminds us that nothing is truly insignificant, and no moment is ever wasted. Throughout your day, you have been a source of ripples. Every word, every movement, and every decision has sent waves out into the world, but now as you settle into stillness, you are inviting the ripples to calm. By choosing to be still, you are sending a message of peace into the fabric of reality. Your relaxation is not just for you. It is a quiet contribution to the balance of the entire world. Let the butterfly of your mind fold its wings. You don't need to change anything anymore. The world is adjusting to your stillness. As your breathing slows, imagine the ripples in the grass growing smaller and smaller until the field is perfectly motionless under the moon. Your peace is a powerful thing. Let it radiate outward into the night. The holographic principle. Everything you see, touch, and feel might be the beautiful projection of a much simpler, deeper truth. Picture a thin silver film hologram. When you look at it, it appears to have depth, shadow, and three-dimensional life. But if you touch it, you find it is actually a flat surface. Some physicists believe the entire universe works this way, that all the complexity of our three-dimensional world is actually a projection of information stored on a flat boundary at the edge of the cosmos. It suggests that reality is much lighter and much more fluid than we perceive. This idea strips the weight from the world. If the walls of your room and the challenges of your life are part of a grand cosmic projection, then they aren't as heavy as they seem. They are made of light and information, and like any projection, they can be softened or turned down. Tonight, you are turning down the brightness of the hologram. You are looking past the projection and moving toward the simple, flat truth of existence. Let the 3D world of your worries flatten out. You are not a character in a difficult play. You are the light that makes the play possible. In the stillness, the images fade, leaving only the silver film of pure, unburdened awareness. You are safe. You are light. You are returning to the source of the image, the cold spot. On the edge of the known universe, there is a place of absolute, unexplained quiet that defies every rule we have written. Imagine a map of the entire sky, glowing with the heat of the Big Bang. In one corner, there is a cold spot, a vast area of nothingness that is significantly lower in temperature than everything around it. Some scientists think it's a bruise from another universe bumping into ours. Others think it's a supervoid where there are no galaxies at all. It is a place where the rules of the cosmos seem to pause, creating a sanctuary of total, frozen silence. We all have a cold spot within us. A place where the heat of emotion and the noise of thought cannot reach. It is your inner sanctuary. As you lie here, imagine yourself drifting away from the hot centers of your life, the crowded cities of your responsibilities, and toward this quiet void. It isn't a lonely place. It is a spacious one. It is a place where you can finally hear yourself breathe, feel the temperature of your mind dropping to a comfortable, steady cool. The friction of the day is gone. There is nothing to burn here, and nothing to prove. You are entering the supervoid of your own rest, where the stars are far away and the silence is absolute. Let the cold spot expand until it covers everything. The grand unified theory. In the heart of the universe, there is a single simple equation that explains every movement of every soul. Imagine a master weaver working at a loom. From a distance, the tapestry looks chaotic, with thousands of different colors and threads. But as you move closer, you see that every single thread is governed by a few simple knots. For a century, physicists have searched for a grand unified theory, one single law that connects the spinning of atoms to the falling of apples and the birth of stars. We suspect that at the very bottom of reality, everything is governed by one beautiful, elegant truth. Your life, too, is seeking its own unified theory tonight. All the different threads of your day, your conversations, your errands, your hopes are being pulled back into a single point of origin. That origin is the simple fact of your existence. You don't need 1,000 different rules to be okay. You only need one, to be here, now, and still. Let the complexity of your life dissolve into this one truth. You are the unified theory of your own world. As you breathe, feel the different parts of your mind coming together in a single quiet harmony. The weave is finished. The tapestry is hung. The weaver has gone to bed. There is only the one, simple, beautiful fact of your rest. The final observer. At the end of all questions, there is a stillness that does not need an answer. Imagine you are sitting on the very last moon of the very last planet in the universe. The suns have all gone to sleep. The galaxies have drifted out of sight, and the great work of time is complete. You are the final observer. You look out into the dark, and you realize that the silence is not empty. It is full. It is full of the memory of every light that ever shone and every heart that ever shone, and every heart that ever beat. It is a state of perfect finished grace. We often think we need answers to be at peace. We think we need to know why the universe is quiet, or where the Ship of Theseus goes, or what lies beyond the event horizon. But in this final segment, let those questions go. The most disturbing science question of all has the most peaceful answer. We don't know, and we don't have to know. The universe is a mystery that is currently taking a deep, long breath, and you are part of that breath. As the world outside grows still, let your thoughts slow down too. You have traveled through the stars, through the atoms, and through the depths of time. You have reached the shore. There is no more data to collect. There are no more equations to solve, because sometimes peace isn't something you find. It's something you allow. And now, as the shadows lengthen and the light of the world fades to a soft, internal glow, let yourself sink. You are the answer to every question. You are the silence. You are the rest. Sleep now. Everything is as it should be.